So medieval knights loved to swing their massive weapons around at any opportunity, and in 1351 there comes one of the greatest feats of chivalry, as two groups of 30 knights came together for a good old-fashioned brawl. The Combat of the 30, as it came to be known, stemmed from the Breton Wars of Succession, a sub-episode of the 100 Years' War where two rival houses staked it out for the Duchy of Brittany, the House of Montfort, supported by the English, and the House of Blois, supported by the French. It began when the Breton knight Jean de Beaumenor challenged the English or German knight Robert Bembera to a duel in single combat. However, Bembera didn't really want to, as it would have been rash and wouldn't have resulted in any personal gain or honour for the two, as it would have just been a personal feud. Instead, Bembera suggested that the two gather 30 knights each and meet on a field with no obstacles to test their skills in combat, and as it would have been such a tremendous feat in arms, they would gain great honour, and it would have been talked about like the legendary tales of old, and the challenge was happily accepted. The knights heard mass before arming themselves with swords, shields, daggers, axes and spears before the signal was given, where the knights went at each other like furious rabbits with great displays of gallantry on both sides, and after a few hours 4 French lay dead and 2 on the English side. Both sides were exhausted and battered at this point, and de Beaumenor called for a break for refreshments and to bandage all of their wounds, where he was told in response to drink his own blood as that will cure his thirst, and after a few hour refreshment break, the battle was once again signalled to resume. It seems like the French manager had laid into his team at half-time as they came out fighting in the second half, pushing the English back into a more defensive shape, before one French knight mounted his horse and charged straight into the English lines, knocking down many before their leader Bembera was slain, and then the rest of them surrendered as they couldn't help their mates and they couldn't fight on. Everyone who participated in the battle was either wounded or killed, with 9 slain on the English side and 4 on the French, and contemporaries regarded it as one of the greatest feats of chivalry ever performed, celebrating it in music and art. And 20 years later, one knight was honoured above everyone else at a feast by the French king because he participated in the battle. Even though it had no effect on the Breton War of Succession, it didn't of course come without controversy, with some regarding it as thuggish and in poor taste, while some other English claimed that the French actually cheated as one of their knights was mounted, while it was agreed that the rules were to be dismounted.